Now, before I begin, for the one singular person who inevitably watched this, not all men, like, yeah, not all of them, but a friggin' lot of them. So I'm gonna be ranting and talking about men pissing me the frick off, and I'm also gonna do some crafts at the same time so that makes me feel productive, because that is one of my 2 part-time jobs. I have no bills to pay for, I just have a shopping problem. Okay, cool. Okay, now I'm gonna start talking. So I was watching Miss Emma Chamberlain's most recent video about recovering from a mental breakdown, and as a person who has had a big fat juicy experience with that, like, I felt that. And then she was talking about like how she's got to take some fun pictures of her crying, and then it just reminded me of something my friend said. He was like, why do girls always take photos of them crying, like, and then like why'd they just put on their story? Like, obviously if you put like the corner of your head and like a single teardrop, like no replies, that's a little bit sus. But sometimes we simply want to take it because it's an output, you know? Like, it's just funny to look back on and be like, what was I crying over that day? And I don't know, it's like, if I'm saying on my spam account that I'm upset about something, it's not for attention, it's to have an output for how I'm feeling, because the same people that will complain at you doing this are the ones that have no output, so bundle all their emotions in and become a nasty person because they have nowhere to talk about their feelings, so they become sad because they can't express their feelings. And it's like, it's the same thing. They're like, oh, like, why do you put this on TikTok? Like, why are you so open? It's like, I don't really get what they mean by that, because being open is a good thing. It means that you can express yourself and you can trust people and you can do stuff, and just, I don't know, it just makes me really mad when they say stuff like that and they're like, women are like so emotional. And it's because we care about what we're talking about and we care about what we do, and it just makes me really angry, because why shouldn't we be passionate about something? Like, I'll cry at a movie where someone dies and it's like, why are you crying? That's so stupid. And I'm like, sorry that I think the concept of death and of losing a loved one is something to cry over. Like, does that make me weak? No. Being able to express my feelings makes me strong. It makes me so angry that, I don't know, it's just, everything's an output, you know? And everything's a way of expressing your feelings. Like, I just think it's so good to have something where you can do that. Obviously, as long as it's healthy. Like, don't go killing people because it makes you feel better. That's not what we're talking about here, squad. Just, I don't know, it just makes me mad because they act like it's such a negative thing and like it's so bad, but everything they complain about is kind of a good thing. So I don't know, like, why they gotta be so mad about someone talking about their feelings. And they're like, all girls ever do is like cry. Like, okay. And then these are the same people that as soon as you talk about mental health, they're like, yeah, well, males have a higher rate of suicide. I'm like, that's not our fault. Women love it when guys are open about how they feel and when they're emotional, but it's other men who are the ones knocking them down for it. Like, they always seem to act like it's our fault. And we'll talk about like sexism and they're like, well, like, men have problems too. And it's like, I know that you have a problem too, but your problem isn't that you're a man, it's that other men suck. Like, that's the whole point of what we're angry about, you know? And this is what I made. like a tarot card thing. But I'm just gonna do this one because I don't know, because I have stuff to do. But I just think it's so stupid because men are always like, we can't express our emotions, and then they're like sad, and it's like they're sad, and you're like, do you want to talk about it? Like, I'm here for you, and they're like, no. And I'm like, you're the one that's choosing not to express things. And I know that sometimes there might have been things in their past that have made it difficult to express things, but it's always something you can learn to do. I don't get why they then make fun of women for doing the same thing that they claim to have a problem with wanting to do themselves, you know. Enjoy the ASMR of me squeezing paint. But I just see so many TikToks and it's like, ugh, just makes me furious. And they're like just so rude whenever a woman says or does anything. Like, they'll literally do their makeup and they're like, this is why I have trust issues. If you think that women naturally have red lips and sparkly eyelashes, not eyelashes, eyelids, I think you need to think about where you hold the blame in that one, because that is simply not our fault. And it's like, they're not doing that for you, they're not doing that specifically to deceive you. They act like everything's about them, and to be honest, it's not. Like, I put this thing on my story about saying, like, make sure you're social distancing, and this guy responds is like, well, me and these people actually are all doing that. I'm on what? Anywho's, so I don't know. Ugh, just everything they say is so dumb, stupid. Obviously, not everything, not all men. And then they'll literally bully every single thing that women do and make up a secret ranking system in order to rank them. And then we're just like, casually as a joke, I hate men. And they're like, or like, oh, we'll be like, oh, this isn't necessary and I have nothing against men that aren't 6 foot. And they're like, so you're body shaming us? So we're allowed to ask you your weight because you're allowed to ask our height? And I'm like, I just don't, girl, that is not the same thing whatsoever. Like, the equivalent of asking a woman their weight is asking a man their weight. How are weight and height the same thing when weight and weight are the same thing? Stupid. Just makes me super mad. And I don't know, absolutely nobody's gonna listen to this. That's chill. It's all good. Don't care if this is on the internet forever. Hire future employers. But that was today's rant, because I just had to let out. And sometimes you have to let stuff out, and that's okay, because that's called expressing your emotions, which is actually really healthy and good. So yeah.